of Bobby Bentz out of Irwin, and the 47 of Chris Dodds from Pittsburgh. 8-lap heats for the Sheets Modifieds. Off the fourth turn to the start-finish line, the green is out and off they go. Jim Nicola darts into the lead, the West Mifflin driver in the Ola Tower View service. Bobby's Lounge number 5, last week's feature winner, Gary Scott. In tow in second, Bobby Bentz is third now in the 60. To 32 is fourth, and Paul Urso to 37 trying to make the pass for fourth as they head down the front stretch. Gary Scott trying to close in on race leader Jimmy Nicola. Leading, Scott second, Bentz is third, Urso is fourth now, and Matt Penney fifth. Coming to the halfway point, 4 laps to go. Laps to the finish. It's been the Jim Nicola show here in the first heat race for your Sheets Modifieds. Gary Scott second and Bobby Bentz third. And it's Paul Urso, Matt Penney, Chris Dodds, and Al Civic rounding out the field. White flag waving. Nicola leads them off the fourth turn. Scott dives to the low side. Nicola will hold him off for the win. Scott second, Bentz third. Paul Urso fourth, and Matt Penney rounds out your top 5. Did you try one of the new delicious wraps? They're available. Bernie McQuillan out of Pittsburgh. 97 is Georgie Nicola out of Pittsburgh, and the 77 of Brian Stevenson from North Versailles. They're minus a few modifieds tonight. The field a little short. Leading. Mike's got his game going. It's hard to beat him, especially when he's starting up front. He's your early leader here with Matt Smith second, Larson East third, Nicola's fourth, and McQuillan and modified rookie Brian Stevenson. Larson East now in the 8-car. Motors on the inside of the back straightaway, trying to get by the 31 of Matt Smith for second, and right behind him comes the 97 of Georgie Nicola to third. one win so far this season. In fact, we haven't had a repeat winner yet in the modifieds. We raced a total of 5 times prior to tonight. We've had 5 different winners. It's been the most competitive of the divisions. Matt Smith has dropped all the way back to 5th now in car 31. 2 laps remaining, 2 to go. One more time around. Race for second here on the final lap. Georgie Nicole in the 97, passing Phil Larsenese. Back along gets the win. Nicole to second, Larsenese third, Bernie McQuillan fourth, and Matt Smith rounds out your top 5. We'll move into the... Also joining the field late, the 20 of Brian Curry, the 16-year-old out of Martinsburg, West Virginia. Side by side off the 4th turn. No go. Guys took off before the green. Larry Lynn Flooring and Carpeting 60. Making his first run of the year in the 61 is Larry Bahana. Also out for the first time in the 20 this year, Brian Curry. Green is out this time. Bakioki on the inside, Mitchell on the outside. Down the back straightaway. Side by side for the lead, side by side behind them. Bakioki and Mitchell wheel to wheel through 3 and 4. Down the front stretch into turn 1. The battle continues. They race down the back straightaway. Tommy Beck into 60, moving up to 5th. Still Bakioki down low and Mitchell up high. Mitchell nosing ahead as they head down the front straightaway. But in the turn, Bakioki pulls right up alongside. Mitchell now on the gas pedal first, and he'll win the battle down the back chute, extending the lead almost to a car length. Bakioki runs it hard in on the inside to try to pull alongside again. Doug got a little bit of a push in the middle of the turn. You can see his car right in the middle part of the turn there, wanting to climb the racetrack just a bit. They're going at it hot and heavy right now. It's been a clean battle thus far. Komarinsky sits behind them in 3rd, and Will Trout is 4th in the 95. Beck closing in 5th in car 60. Off at 2, it's Bakioki. Now Komarinsky trying to pull alongside of Mitchell. Rich is stuck on that outside lane. Coming to the halfway points. Off of 4, almost 3 wide for second. Mitchell up way high. Komarinsky to second. Will Trout now trying to pass Mitchell for 3rd. Beck is 5th in the 60. Will Trout with a lot of get up and go down the straightaways in the Megan Ford Stone and Company 95 as he tries to pass the Rock Light 33 of John Komarinsky for second. It's the Pitex Incorporated Gridiron Grill 50 of Doug Bakioki, running the best he has all season, showing the way. Will Trout to second now. Komarinsky still 3rd. Tommy Beck has started back in the field. And Richard Mitchell duel for 4th and 5th. Down the back chute, the battle continues for 4th, 3rd, 4th, and 5th between Komarinsky. Mitchell now carrying the momentum up high, and into the pits comes Brian Curry in the 20. Curry in the 20 pitting. We've got less than 2 laps to go. Now Gary Wiltrout has quickly closed in on race leader Doug Bakioki. Wiltrout hugging the low side of the Megan Ford Stone and Company 95. The white flag is out. It's a dead heat into turn 1. Doug Bakioki did a great job warding off the early race charges of Richard Mitchell. Now he's trying to keep defending champion Gary Wiltrout out of the winner's circle here in our first heat race for the Falcones Dodge late models. Coming off of 4, they come down the front straightaway. Wiltrout wins it. Wiltrout gets it done. Bakioki second, Komarinsky third, Mitchell fourth, Tommy Beck fifth, and Ralph McBride in car 30 will round out your top 5. It's a free coupon on there as well, and whoever has the most ballots turned in their name in each of our divisions at the end of the year will be on the McDonald's All-Star Race Team for MOTORDROME Speedway. Mark Poole, the 96, and Sean Pillow, the 5, bring the field to the green flag, and they're off and running. The Falcones Dodge late models. Mark Poole, the Howard Concrete Pumping 96, off and running in a big way. Chuck Kessler moves the 1 to second. Neil Brown trying to pass the 5 of Sean Pillow for third. Brown to third. Pillow fourth, Gattone a close fifth. Gattone now to the inside of Pillow. Trying to move up to fourth. Gattone to fourth. Rick Miller trying to get by Sean Pillow for fifth. Chuck Kessler trying to run down race leader Mark Poole. Rick Miller trying to pass Mark Gattone for fourth. He makes the pass in the middle of 1 and 2. Mark Poole and Chuck Kessler out in front and flying. Halfway. Miller now to the inside trying to get by Brown for third. The Coors Light 98 and the Brooks Automotive Group 25, the 2 sealed motors in the field. Miller makes the pass for third. They're dueling for the lead. Kessler down low and Mark Poole up high. The battle is on. Chucky Kessler nosing ahead in turn 4. He'll lead lap number 7. Miller closing quickly on the 2 leaders. Miller's catching them like they are tied to a pole right now. He is reeling them in a hurry. 2 more laps to go. Rick had won 2 in a row before it was a 4th place finish last week. He moves alongside of Poole into the runner-up spot. And Kessler now will try to hold him off here on the final lap. The Kessler Lumber Centaur Incorporated, one of Chuck Kessler, trying to hold back the Valvoline Brooks Automotive Group 25 of Rick Miller. Coming through 3 and 4. Kessler will win it. Miller to second. Poole third. Neil Brown fourth. Mark Gattone fifth. Sean Pillow rounds out the top 6 in car 5. Involved with the Subway sponsorship here at the Speedway. 95 is Jimmy Stokes, 87 Pete Walrath, 04 Bob Shipp, 50 Jeff Giles, the 1 of Tracy Keller, Dave McManus 17, Rick Broadwater the 9, Chantel Germack in the 24, the 51 of Cliff Abbott, and Bruce Hamilton in the 29 rounds out the field for the 6-lap heat race for the Chargers. These are entry-level 8 cylinders. We also have the American Flyers, the new division this year, the 4 cylinders. They'll be running a feature later on in the program as the field starts to grow in that class. Pete Walrath out in front. Pete ran here in the past, just a different, it's actually the number 7 car that's run here before with Chuck Slate the driver. It's now the 87 tonight, and Pete Walrath is the pilot. Bobby Shipp in the 04 is second. Jimmy Stokes in the 95, third, and last week's feature winner, the 17 of Dave McManus, and the 1 of Tracy Keller. For the white flag, Pete Walrath ahead of Bob Shipp, Dave McManus, Tracy Keller, and Jim Stokes. 1 lap to go. Walrath out of Jefferson Hills, jetting to the win in the Motordrome Charger heat race. Second, Bobby Shipp, Dave McManus in the 17th, third, Tracy Keller in the 1/4, and Chantel Germack rounds out your top 5 in the number 24. Folks, again, we still have some of those pit Cairn, the 69 of Dave Merrow from Wall. 32 is Chris Kossel out of Connellsville, and the 14 of Paul Milowicki from Hunker. The 02 of Dan Lewis was scheduled to be in this race, but did not make the starting grid, the 02. Dustin Blank in the 4 out to the early lead, Marion Reno. They had to rebuild the front on that thing a couple of times this past few weeks. Second, 69 Merrow up to third. He has been so fast all season long. Kossel in the 32 is fourth, and I'm sure he's more determined than ever tonight, Dave. Kossel fourth, Kostelnik fifth. Front 5 are running tight down the back straightaway. Reno trying to nose ahead of the 4 of Dustin Blank. Now Marion Reno opening up some daylight in front. Theo Germack heating and cooling, Tom Clark, Chevy number 8. The Neidhart Auto Sales, 4 of Blank is second. Stan's Transmissions, Cars by Dave, 69 of Merrow third. Brooks Automotive Group. Bob Mongel's Car Care, 32 of Kossel fourth, and the Froggy FM. Stan's Transmissions, 60 of Adam Kostelnik fifth. Kostelnik sideways coming off that second turn in the 60, had to back out of it, loses some ground to the 32 of Kossel. Merrow now to the inside trying to pass Dustin Blank for second. Marion Reno out for a Friday night cruise in the number 8. Coming to take the white flag, signaling to the drivers 1 lap to go in this race. Comes from Pitcairn, Marion Reno Jr. taking the heat race win in the Falcones Chrysler Jeep Pro Trucks. Dave Merrow, Dustin Blank, Chris Kossel, Adam Kostelnik chase him home. Palma from Munhall. out to the early lead with Robbie Young, sporting a new front end after a wreck last week. Second, and Dave Brunell up to third. Brunell challenging for second. Curtis Stewart is fourth. They were working hard, had some problems in the pinion in the rear end of the 55 earlier tonight. Laps to go. Dave Brunell continues to pressure the three of Robbie Young for second. Greg Kelly, your leader. Curtis Stewart is fourth. Robbie Young ends up parked between turns 1 and 2. Your Falcone's Chrysler Jeep Pro Trucks. Green's out. Brunell off the pace in the 0. White flag is waving, final lap. Greg Kelly, who inherited the win last week. The Fayette Forest Products, Kessler Lumber, D&K Sales and Service Machine. Rolling on along here. Curtis Stewart had a top 5 finish here last week in his first run. The Lenature's 55 running second right now. Then Bill Wintruba, Robbie Young, and Dave Manns, and that is the way they will finish. I know many of you have already, but if you have not yet tonight, be sure to pick up some of those Smith and Fire Department. 15 is Chris Vergona from Pitcairn. 45 is Don Blank Jr. out of Pittsburgh. The 22, last week's winner, Robin Rimmel from White. The 70 is Todd Knight from Monroeville, and the 64 is Bill Henry from Vandergrift. 8-lap heat race for the Subway Street Stocks, off and running. Nicole in the 34 out in front, and Bill Ashton in the 35 second. Todd Knight in the 70 trying to move to third and does off the 4th turn. Vergona in the 13 is 4th, and Blank in the 45 is 5th. Ashton continues to hound Rich Nicola for the lead. Todd Knight closing in 3rd in the 70. Halfway. laps to go. Todd Knight has moved to second. Rich Nicole in the 34. Oh, Todd Knight in the 7. He does a great job of holding on to it. He had a fistful of steering wheel and then some in the 70s. He got all crossed up. Look at him getting sideways again. The car, he's got a tire going flat or what, or maybe an axle problem in the back of the car. Looks like as soon as he hits the gas pedal or the brake, the car wants to break loose. The 70 after running all the way up to second. That car hasn't been sideways all year. It's been on a roll. He'll forget third, but Rich Nicola will win it. Bill Ashton second, Knight third. Don Blank Jr. fourth, and Robin Rimmel rounds out the top 5 in the 22. Fast Frank Turek moves to fourth. Frank Turek in the 5 to 4th. Jason Holder in the 74 to 5th. Sean Zeiler's got a problem. He's not in high gear in the 03. Sean Rick is your leader. The Sean's Landscaping 44. Vince Cater in the 4 is second. Turek in the 5 third, then Garrett Hoos in the 7. Holder in the 74, and Mike Manning in the 10 car. Sean Zeiler dropping out in the 03. Still your leader, Frank Turek and Vince Cater not far behind. Cater in the 4. Turek in the 5. Cater trying to get underneath him, but Rick likes to protect the low side down the straightaways, and now Turek on the outside trying to move by Vince Cater for second. Halfway this time, 4 more laps. Still Sean Rick, and again coming down to protect that low side. Vince Cater trying to squeeze underneath, unable to get by on the back straight. Is back underneath him in turn 4. Down the front straightaway they come. This time he's alongside into 1. Cater makes the pass for the lead. The Skips Auto 4 is your leader. Frank Turek in the 5, trying to pass Sean Rick for second. Mike Manning in the 10, nosing to 4th. Two laps to go. White flag this time. Modified feature is next. Vince Cater still in front. Frank Turek second. Mike Manning now trying to pass Sean Rick. A battle of Monte Carlos for third. And Cater, he sort of moved over to the inside of the racetrack there, I thought, down the back straightaway. And Turek jumped on the gas, and there's a race for the lead off of 4 to the checkered flag. Frank Turek will win it on the final lap. Vince Cater second, Mike Manning third, Sean Rick 4th, and 5th will be the 74 of Jason Holder. Nicola, 1 win on the year, former track champion, grabs the lead at the start. Paul Urso also with a win in the 37, and 48 Mike Bacalon, another one-time winner this year, runs second and third. Now it's Bacalon second, Urso third. Georgie Nicola in the 97 is 4th. And the 60 of Bentz is 5th, then Bernie McQuillan, Phil Arsenis, Gary Scott, Matt Smith, and Matt Panay. Al Civic, 13 out of the group, almost got the wall off the second turn. the low side in the Bobby's Lounge Ola Tower View service. Culvert's collision number 5. Mike Bacalon putting the pressure on. Bacalon now dives to the inside as they head down the back straightaway. Battle for the lead into turn 3. They are wheel to wheel. Mike Bacalon and Jim Nicola. Side by side racing. Paul Urso third, Georgie Nicola fourth, and Bobby Benz a close fifth. Bacalon now out in front by almost a full car length. Nicola will dive in behind him and run in single file formation into 3 and 4, but Jimmy's still taking a little gander to the outside of Mike as they came off of that 4th turn. And your front 6 cars running in single file, very close together as they head into that 3rd and 4th turn. 7th place car of Gary Scott not far behind them. Matt Smith moves to 8th, Matt Penine to 9th, and Bernie McQuillan drops to 10th in car 45. Georgie Nicola in the 97 trying to pass his Uncle Jim, who runs 2nd just ahead of him. Hey, gave little Uncle Jim a little bump there and ended up costing himself. Bobby Benson the 60, the Stans Transmission 60 moves to 3rd. And now Jim Nicola right on Mike Bacalon's bumper as they race off of 4. Right got by Jim, but he certainly hasn't been able to leave him. Phil Larseny's trying to pass at 37 of Paul Urso for 5th. Urso out of the groove. He'll lose 2 spots all the way back to 7th. Larceny to 5th now. Gary Scott, who started 12th, is up to 6th. Candidate for the Valvoline Hard Charger Award. Whoa, Ben slips coming off of 4. Nicola gets to the outside of him into 1 and 2. Georgie trying to get back up to 3rd. These front 4 or 5 cars haven't been separated by more than a car length or 2 the entire way. We are past the halfway mark, just 9 laps to go. 9 laps to go. Georgie Nicola may have found something on that middle groove of the 97. Somebody else hugging the low side. Oh, he's trying now. He got close to the wall off the 2nd turn. He had to back out of the throttle. He's back up there digging again. Larseny's trying to get underneath him in the number 8. Jimmy Nicola trying to dive under Mike Bacalon. Bobby Benz right behind Nicola. Mike Bacalon protecting that inside groove. He might not have the fastest car right now, but he's trying to make it the widest. Protecting that lead. Six laps to go. Bacalon, your leader. Jim Nicola runs him down again on the back chute and dives to the inside of Mike. And still Bacalon in front. Nicola's 2nd, Benz is 3rd. Georgie Nicola 4th and Phil Larseny's 5th. Less than 5 laps to go. Bobby Benz to the inside of Nicola now in that race for 2nd. It's been a close battle all the way. Bacalon still your leader. Benz now to 2nd, Nicola 3rd, Nicola 4th. Larseny's 5th. Takes the the lead away from Mike Bacalon. Bentz was third and then second, and now he's your leader, and Georgie Nicola following him up through. He was third earlier, dropped back, now he's up to second. Bacalon, not something you see very often here at Motordrome. Go from first to third in less than a lap. Just 2 laps to go. Bobby Bentz trying to become the 7th different winner in the Sheets Modifieds. So is Georgie Nicola in the 97. And they got the Al Civic 13 just ahead of them. Trying to stay on the lead lap. Bacalon's back in the hunt too. Here they come, 1 more lap to go. Your Sheets Modified feature rolls into turn 1. They try to lap the 13 of Civic. Nicola with momentum on the outside. Bacalon underneath him. Bentz moves on top of Civic, and here they come to the checkered flag. Slipping and sliding. Off the 4th turn they come. Bobby Bentz in the middle of the racetrack will win it. Georgie Nicola second, Bacalon third, Jim Nicola 4th, Phil Larson he's 5th. How about that? That was a heck of a race for your Sheets Modifieds. They all did a great job. Clean race too, as close as they were running. X1059, how about a nice hand? What a great job he did. Bobby Bentz getting his first win of the year, and he certainly had to work hard to do it.
Okay, fans, we're down here with Bobby Bentz, and I tell you what, I thought after you got by Mike, you'd just kind of run away and hide, but something happened to the car, or is everybody just that close out there?
I used my tires up getting to the front, boy. I was hanging on for dear life.
Unbelievable. In a way, you hate to see that lap car, but you use that lap car to your advantage there. You say, hey, they can't get underneath me if I keep him right here.
That's right. Had no tires left, I had no option.
That's a veteran driver for you, huh, Bobby?
Yeah, I don't know about his lucky driver.
You know, it looked like it was a lot of fun, at least out there.
These last 2 weeks in the modified, I never worked so hard to win a race.
Let's talk about the sponsors and the guys that help you out.
First of all, I want to thank Harry Luceda, where he said he gave me one hell of a motor tonight. His son Chris, Joe and Buzzy Viglione, my dad from Stan's Transmission, A&D Auto Wreckers, C&D Towing, Joe Martin, if you're up there, that's for you, Joe, and Tom from A&D.
Thank you, fans.
And everybody for coming tonight. I hope more people keep coming. You're missing some great racing.
Ladies and gentlemen, first one of the year here at Motordrome for Bobby Bentz Jr.
Looks like we got an interesting time. They go faster in the race than they do on their pace lap. Believe me, here they come off the 4th turn. Green is out and off they go. Bob Eastman is your early leader in the 2 car. Uh-oh, your leader is about to take the whole field out. He's still, woo! He got it. William Bone said, I better get out of here before that guy kills me, and he took off with the lead. Greco's to second. Bob Eastman is going to need a massage on his arms after all that sun on the steering wheel. Is back to 3rd, and Bill Oldham is scared to death in 4th in the 5. Laps down, 5 laps race, the race for the American Flyers.
Hey Joe, this is Jason, can you hear me?
Uh-oh, contact between 1st and 2nd. Look who's back in front, the 2 of Bob Eastman. first new winner, Bob Eastman. He's in front. Greco is second and closing quickly. Mean Gene's got the pedal down. Well, he's gaining in a hurry. Bill Oldham in the 5 is third. Here they come off of 4. And Bob Eastman, who had the lead, lost the lead, and got it back, is your winner. Nice hand, folks, for Bob Eastman. He had the lead, he lost the lead, and he got it back.
Well, Bob, first time in the car, and I have to tell you, that first lap, I wasn't real impressed.
Oh, neither was I. That was bad, very bad.
But you got things straightened out, and you ended up picking up the win.
Yeah, hey, they say loose is fast, and I was loose.
You know, obviously this car's been fast all along, and it's just the driver in the car, right? Has nothing to do with the car. No more excuses back that way.
I told him when I get in, I'm winning the race. And Mike's a good driver. He's a good driver. He set it up for me.
You got to throw him a bone somewhere in there, huh?
Yeah. He's a good guy. Very good guy.
All right, let's talk about the sponsors and the people you need to thank.
All right, Larry Germack. I think that's it. And all the crew, Reno, Mike Alexic, Chantel, my girlfriend Robin, Donna. If I forget anyone, I'm sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, first time winner here, Bob Eastman.
He gets the Budweiser trophy. We're going to do the ride and drive as well here. Cannonsburg, Nick Duratz. Inside the back row in number 61 car, making his first start of the year, Larry Bahana from Monongahela. Outside the next row in the 43 is Mike Adams from Portview. Inside of Mike in the 51. From Clarksburg, West Virginia is John Messenger. Starting 12th, last week's feature winner. And current points leader in the Coors Light 98 from Acme, Neil Brown. Inside of Neil, he had a great run in the heat race tonight in car number 50 from Venetia, Doug Bakioki. In the Rock Light 33 from Greensburg, John Komarinsky. In the Froggy FM, Lint Flooring and Carpeting number 60 from Delmont, Tommy Beck. In the familiar number 22, former track champion and NASCAR Northeast Region champion out of the Brewston Mills, West Virginia area, Richard Mitchell. Starting in the 7th spot in car number 5 from Connellsville, Sean Pilla. Outside of row 3 from White in the number 1, Chuck Kessler. Your 5th starter in the Howard Concrete Pumping number 96 from 84, Mark Poole. Starting 4th from Valencia in the number 30, Ralph McBride. Starting inside the 2nd row, another former track champion, the 31 of Mark Gatone out of McKeesport. Outside the front row from Dunbar, 2-time winner this year in the 25, Rick Miller. And starting on the pole, your defending track champion in car 95 from Somerset, Gary Wiltrout.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
Y'all ready for this?
16 cars ready to run the Budweiser 100 for the Falcones Dodge late models. The Davies Ford Mustang making its way off of the Speedway, and Gary Wiltrout and Rick Miller will bring the field around. 100 laps Here they come off the fourth turn. Wiltrout and Miller. The green flag is out and the Budweiser 100 is underway. It'll be Gary Wiltrout grabbing the lead as they head down the back straightaway. Miller second. Catone is third. Poole fourth. The Big and Ford Stone & Company 95 of Gary Wiltrout. Trying to hold off the Valvoline Brooks Automotive Group 25 of Rick Miller. We know how fast that car has been all season. Wiltrout has been no slouch himself, but it's been hard to keep those sealed motors at bay. Miller challenges for the lead on the inside as they head into one. Lap number 3. And Mike Adams into 43 spins. 3 cars running at the back of the field. Gary Wiltrout has the lead back. Can he withstand another charge from Rick Miller? Good restart for Wiltrout. Oh, Tommy Beck out of shape there. Sean Pilla on the brakes, and he gets passed by Neil Brown, and now Doug Bakayoko in the 50 also moving by Pilla in the 5 car. And Bakayoko gets into the 33 of Komarinsky, but they keep going. Wiltrout in front, Miller second, Catone third. Chuck Kessler and Mark Poole battle behind. Kessler now to 4th. Mitchell trying to follow him up to 5th in the 22. Chuck Kessler 4th. Richard Mitchell in the 22 moves into the top 5. Miller with a run off the bottom of that 4th turn. Again trying to overhaul Gary Wiltrout for the lead. They're side by side down the back straightaway. Miller in front on lap number 6. Wiltrout second, Catone is third, Kessler 4th. Mitchell runs 5th. Brian Curry in the 20 about to be lapped again. He's running right up in the fast lane. Miller deciding whether he wants to go low or high. We'll pass him on the outside. Wiltrout, Catone, Kessler, Mitchell in tow. Poole runs 6, Brown is 7th, Beck is 8th, McBride is 9th, and Doug Bakayoko is 10th in car 50. Trying to pass Neil Brown for 7th. Oh, into Brown in turn 4, and Brown goes around. Caution is out. Green is waving, and Rick Miller brings the field back up to speed. Pulls on to a healthy lead. Will Trout second, Catone third, Kessler fourth, Mitchell is fifth. Mitchell in car 22, passing the one of Chuck Kessler for fourth. The Howard Concrete Pumping Chevy up into fourth. Kessler is fifth, pulls sixth. Back a close seventh. Komarinsky and Bakioki battle for eighth and ninth. Mitchell closing in on the fourth or third place car of Mark Catone as your leaders lap the 20 of Brian Curry another time. Catone and Mitchell, they've battled around this place a few times. Completed in the Bud 100, 20 laps down. Rick Miller, Gary Wiltrout now has left Mark Catone. Richard Mitchell trying to pass Catone for third. Kessler is a close fifth. Mitchell with a burst of speed off the second turn down the back straightaway. Edging ahead of Mark Catone for third. Mitchell now closing in on the second place car of Gary Wiltrout. Brian Curry the quarter mark, 26. This will be lap 27 this time by. It's still Rick Miller. I believe he took the lead on lap 6. Tommy Beck in the 60 trying to unseat Chuck Kessler for 5th in turn 1. Kessler still 5th, Beck 6th down the back chute. Doug Bakioki and John Komarinsky been racing together all night long. They're 3 side by side through 3 and 4. Into a 100-lap race, tire wear could always play a role, especially later on. Miller out there pretty much just cruising along, not having to adjust his line a lot. Probably not wearing tires much. Wiltrout still 2nd. Mitchell's been running that middle groove a lot. He's 3rd right now. Catone back a ways in 4th, and the battle for 5th continues. Tommy Beck in the 60 and the 1 of Chuck Kessler. Beck being scored in 5th. pass down the back straightaway in the Larry Lynn Flooring and Carpeting Froggy FM number 60. Nick Duratz in the 80 goes a lap down to race leader Rick Miller. Neil Brown in the 98 now, who of course went to the back earlier, is caught up to the 33 of John Komarinsky and the 50 of Doug Bakioki. And that battle for 8th, 9th, and 10th. Now starting to really pressure Gary Wiltrout for second. Wiltrout led it first, then it was Miller. Now Wiltrout has his hands full trying to hold off Mitchell for second. More lap traffic ahead of race leader Rick Miller. 35 laps complete, 35 laps are down. Tommy Beck is closing in on the 4th place car of Mark Catone. Miller with traffic in his path as he races through 3 and 4. Around the 43 of Mike Adams to put him a lap down. Mark Poole has pitted in car 96. Poole was running in the top, I believe around the 7th spot. He pits in car 96. Tommy Beck goes to the outside of Mark Catone in turn 1. Beck on the move here tonight. Trying to move by Catone for 4th. Tommy Beck up to 4th. Traffic now for Gary Wiltrout and Richard Mitchell. Wiltrout able to clear the 43 of Mike Adams. Mitchell does as well. Not quite yet in 1 and 2, but he'll make the pass down the back chute. Beck is 4th, Catone 5th, Kessler 6th, Bakioki 7th, Komarinsky 8th, Brown 9th, and running 10th is the 30 of Ralph McBride. He and Sean Pilla get together for a moment in 1 and 2, and right behind them comes race leader Rick Miller. Neil Brown in the 98 trying to pass the 33 of John Komarinsky down the back straightaway. Miller around the 5 of Pilla, now trying to lap the 30 of Ralph McBride, leaving just 9 cars on the lead lap. 9 cars on the lead lap. Oh, contact again between McBride and Pilla. They're trying to wreck there for a moment. It looked like it anyway. Pilla able to get by McBride. They're right ahead of the 2nd place car of Gary Wiltrout. Wiltrout now dives to the inside, trying to avoid McBride. Those two got to rubbing one another, and Wiltrout and Mitchell had to be wondering, what do we have to do next? Sean Pilla has Gary Wiltrout to his outside into turn 3. Mitchell right there knocking at the heels of Wiltrout. Half a straightaway behind race leader Rick Miller. Beck still 4th, Catone 5th, and Kessler 6th. Bakioki 7th, Brown 8th, and Komarinsky 9th, all still on the lead lap. race leader. Clear racetrack for the second and third place cars of Gary Wiltrout and Richard Mitchell. Mitchell now makes a run at Wiltrout off of 4 on the inside, down into turn 1. Wiltrout still second, but Mitchell closing ground on the back straightaway, trying to pull even in the race for second. Into 3 and 4, the battle is on. Mitchell making the pass in turn 4. The Howard Concrete Pumping Chevy moves up to second, dropping the Biggin Ford 95 to third. Out in front, it's the Brooks Automotive Group 25. We've got a battle of the car dealerships. First and third, and Tom Clark helping out on the 22 of Mitchell in second. Halfway home in the Budweiser 100. Richard Mitchell now pulling away from Gary Wiltrout. Does he have anything for the Rick Miller 25? Can he beat the sealed motor? Nick Durant's pitting in car 80. Durant's in the 80 to the pits. Well, Mitchell definitely is closing ground in a hurry. He has left Wiltrout behind and cut Miller's lead in half. Tommy Beck still 4th, Marketone 5th, Kessler 6th, Bakayoko 7th, Brown 8th, and Komarinsky 9th. No change in the lead lap cars. Mitchell again making up just a little bit on Rick Miller. Richard running that patented middle groove that he's always been so fast in here at Motordrome Speedway, not gluing himself to the bottom of the racetrack, but running more of a freer line through the turns, trying to keep the car free. Wiltrout is slowed down some, or Miller has picked up the pace, and so has Mitchell, because Gary now is a half a straightaway behind Mitchell, and Miller, of course, who was just a half a straightaway ahead of Wiltrout, now full straight on Gary. To go in the Budweiser 100. 40 laps remaining. Now the 60, trying to get by the 95 of Gary Wiltrout for third. Beck's run has been impressive here tonight. The Larry Lynn Flooring and Carpeting Froggy FM 60 moves to third. Wiltrout is still 4th in the Biggin Ford Stone & Company 95, and the Edie's Ice Cream 31 of Marketone 5th. Chuck Kessler 6th, Doug Bakayoko 7th, Neil Brown 8th. And the 33 of John Komarinsky is your 9th place car. All still on the lead lap. Mitchell has closed in another car length or two over the last couple of circuits. Miller, if this race stays green, is going to have some more traffic to deal with here in the not too distant future. Drivers have probably the most experience of anyone in the field. Miller ran with the ASA a long time, touring the countryside, and of course Mitchell the last couple of years has run a lot of ARCA racing, some NASCAR Busch racing, and now both back here going to battle at the MOTORDROME Speedway. It's setting up as a shootout with just 33 laps to go. They have caught the back of the field again. Miller trying to lap the 51 of John Messenger. Ahead of him next, the 9th place car of John Komarinsky, still on the lead lap. In on the 9th place car of John Komarinsky with 30 laps to go. The Rock Light 33 moving over. He'll go a lap down. Mitchell gets by 2. Beck by himself in 3rd. Wiltrout is 4th. Catone slipping bad off the 4th turn in the 31, still runs 5th, but this car looks awfully loose. Kessler 6th, Bakioki 7th, Brown 8th, still on the lead lap. Neil Brown right now the last car on the lead lap in the 98. To the 3/4 mark. So far, Miller hasn't come upon anybody that's been racing with anyone else when he's gotten to lap them. This will be lap 75. 25 laps to go in the Bud 100. 25 to go. Mark Catone getting by Gary Wiltrout, so Wiltrout drops to 5th. The early race leader is back to 5th. And Chuck Kessler not far behind him in 6th in the 1 car. Then it's Doug Bakioki in the 50. Miller able to maintain that lead. Once in a while, Mitchell will pick up a car length or 2, but now Miller trying to get by the 5 of Sean Pilla, having to slow down a bit. Mitchell making up some ground, but he too now have to contend with the 5 cars. They work through 3 and 4. Chuck Kessler to 5th in the 1, Doug Bakioki to 6th as Gary Wiltrout drops to 7th. Neil Brown is 8th. Those cars running together. 6th, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Not far ahead of race leader Rick Miller. In fact, he could be right there racing with them as Neil Brown now gets by Will Trout down the back straightaway, and Doug Bakioki tries to pass the one of Chuck Kessler. Bakioki in the 50 trying to move into the top 5. Oh, contact between Kessler and Bakioki, and Brown's able to get by Bakioki in turn 2. Miller catches up with those 4 cars. I don't think they're going to move over and let him by because they're racing for position. Mitchell trying to put a late race charge on here with 18 laps to go. Neil Brown trying to get by Chucky Kessler for 5th. Doug Bakioki behind them, then Gary Wiltrout. Those guys also trying to stay on the lead lap here with Rick Miller and Richard Mitchell closing in. Brown 5th after going to the back early. Her spin. Mitchell has pulled within 2 or 3 car lengths now of Miller. Miller really slipped that time in 1 and 2, and Mitchell is just 2 car lengths behind as they head into 3. Lap traffic ahead as they race into 4. And this is not slow traffic. This is your early race leader, Gary Wiltrout, trying to stay on the lead lap. Mitchell to the inside of Miller as they try to lap Wiltrout down the back straightaway. Wheel to wheel into 3 and 4, and Mitchell takes the lead with 15 laps to go. The Howard Concrete Pumping 22. Passing the Brooks Automotive Group 25. Now it's Miller that has to do the chasing. Doug Bakioki, Chuck Kessler, and Neil Brown, your 5th, 6th, and 7th place cars ahead of the front 2 here, trying to stay on the lead lap. Miller is glued to Mitchell's bumper. Beck by himself in 3rd. Catone 4th, and Brown is 5th. Kessler 6th, Bakioki 7th with that front fender flapping on the right front of the car. Mitchell to the outside of Bakioki. Miller trying to get by Bakioki as well. "12 laps to go in the Bud 100. Richard Mitchell now extending that lead. To go. Chuck Kessler, your 6th place car, trying to stay on the lead lap. Richard Mitchell and Rick Miller closing in near the late stages of the Budweiser 100. Mitchell, the track champion here in 1999 and 2000. He's gone on the road the last couple of years, running with the ARCA Remax Series and the NASCAR Busch Grand National Circuit at times. Back to run the special events in 2003, trying to pick up his 30th career MOTORDROME Speedway late model feature win. He dominated things here in 99 and 2000. First race he's run here in a couple of years. He was here earlier in the year but never got to run the feature. He got caught up in a wreck at the end of his heat. Just 5 cars on the lead lap. and just 5 laps to go. Richard's last win here came on September 1st of 2000. Check that, check that. 2001. He ran a handful of races here. He won the big 150 here in July in 2001 when he was running a limited schedule. And he is driving off here, showing that long lap experience that he's acquired over the last couple of seasons running the Arkin NASCAR Busch Grand National Series. It's not who's fast at the start, but who's fastest at the finish. And right now, it is Richard Mitchell. And of course, those who say you can't beat a sealed motor, he's got one more lap to prove them wrong. The Howard Concrete Pumping Turnkey Foundation's Tom Clark Chevy, looking for his 30th career win at the MOTORDROME Speedway. They'll be ringing the bells in Brewston Mills. The Bud 100 goes to Richard Mitchell. Rick Miller second. Rick Miller to give him a little thumbs up there in turn 2. Tommy Beck comes home third. Mark Catone fourth and Neil Brown fifth. Hand, folks, the Bud 100 to Richard Mitchell.
Hey, fans, we're down here with Rich Mitchell. And Richard, it's been since 2001 you in Victory Lane here at Motordrome. Welcome back.
Had a pretty rough time of it there for the past couple weeks. I did a little boo-boo down here in one with Gary, and I talked with Gary, said I was sorry. It was all my fault. Went to Jennerstown, had a good run up there, but the car just wouldn't work right on the front of the car. We was trying some different things and went back to what we were used to, and we changed it for this feature. Worked pretty good for the first 40, but I know the question's going to be about the fuel injection motors, but those motors are hard to beat for the first 40, 50 laps. And then once they start going away, Rick was getting loose, getting into one, and our car was just handling a little bit better.
You could literally see once you got by Rick, I didn't notice it too much before, but once you got by him, I don't know if he tried harder or what, but he was really loose and stuff coming out, and maybe that's what it is, just their tires. I mean, we've heard so much about the extra 60 pounds they carry in the front of the car to begin with. Maybe that extra 60 pounds in a long distance race isn't what you want.
Yeah, but then again, it could have been they just missed a setup tonight with stagger or whatever. But I mean, those motors are a good motor. I don't think it's really time to call these dinosaurs, but eventually that's what's going to happen. The fuel injection is going to take over.
Let's talk about the sponsors and the guys you need to help out, or thank for helping out. There we go.
Well, first of all, I want to know where Frank Howard's at. He was here tonight. I want to thank him personally for all the help he's given us. Tom Clark Jr., Tom Clark Sr. at Tom Clark Chevrolet. Competition Transmission and Gear, Turnkey Foundations, Mitchell Auto Parts, Scott Wire, Port City Racing. I just got to thank all my guys, my brother, my cousins. We got kind of mixed up, everybody going their different ways. Some of the other guys is doing the ARC and the Busch thing, and we're back tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, they'll be ringing the bells in Brewston Mills, West Virginia tonight. Your winner, Richard Mitchell.
He picks up the Budweiser 100 championship trophy tonight, and I'm sure he'll be back to understand that Mrs. Lemley They sent her home. It wasn't time yet. So Mike decided, okay, honey, you're back home. I'm going to get the race car. Your Chargers are off and running.
There you go.
Bruce Hamilton into the lead in car 29. Pete Walrath in the 87 second. 04 Bob Shipp, 95 Jim Stokes are next. Tracy Keller in the one running fifth. In the 87 trying to take the lead. He'll pass Bruce Hamilton into turn 3. Tracy Keller in the 1, moving up to 4th. 15 laps for the Chargers. Hamilton closing back in on race leader Pete Walrath. Shipp in the 04 trying to pass the 29 of Bruce Hamilton for second. Mike Lemley, who started way in the back, is trying to move by the 17 of Dave McManus for fifth, and McManus is trying to get by the 1 of Tracy Keller for fourth. Meantime, Pete Walrath is way out in front in the 87. To go, 5 laps to go. Dave McManus is fourth, and now Mike Lemley is fifth in car 4. Walrath is slowing down. The 87 is slowing down. He is really slowed down. Bruce Hamilton, the 29, and the 04 Bob Shipp are closing in a hurry. They're probably wondering, oh, what's this all about? 1 lap to go. Pistol Pete trying to protect the lead. He doesn't appear to be the fastest car right now. Hamilton to the inside, Shipp to the outside, Walrath down the middle. Does he have enough in his tank to get it going? Yeah, I mean, he was just slowing down, waiting for the boys, just playing with them a little bit. Here he comes. Pistol Pete Walrath will get the win over Bob Shipp. Bruce Hamilton, Dave McManus just edging Mike Lemley for 4th and 5th. McManus 4th and Lemley 5th. We're also going to pick our Subway Street Stock Challenge contestant here before we get on with the next race. Find out who will try to win you all a meatball sub tonight from Subway, any of the participating Subway locations. This is the same car, Joe, isn't it, that Chuck Slate drove to win here earlier this year?
This is Chuck Slate's car. Chuck just took the night off.
There he is, Pete Walrath, back in the winner's circle in the Motordrome Chargers.
Go to the Coors Light, my favorite scent.
I'm having some now.
Tell you what, Pete, you still got it. I mean, you used to be the guy to beat here in the Chargers. We talked earlier. Chuck wanted to take the weekend off. Said, yeah, if you want to drive it, you had to be thrilled to jump back in this car.
Oh yeah, and it makes it all even better just to come in and think you still got it, and I guess I still do a little bit, and I got in a good car, got a lot of people behind me. I'd like to thank Stan's Transmission, Jay Pollock, Chairman Tire, just all the guys that helped us get it to the track.
You know, one of the good things about coming out and winning now is you can really get on Chuck next time he doesn't win a race.
Yeah, there is no problem with the car.
Now, is this the same car that you used to drive?
No, this is a new car that they built. The one Adam Kostelnik drives in Jennerstown is the old car I used to drive.
All right, anybody else you need to thank?
I'd like to thank the fans for coming out, and thanks for cheering us on.
Ladies and gentlemen, first win of the year for Pistol Pete Walrath.
Jumps out to the lead. Dustin Blank second, Dave Merrow third, Chris Kossel fourth, Adam Kostelnik trying to pass Curtis Stewart for fifth. Greg Kelly moves up to sixth. Second. Merrow's second. Dustin Blank third now. Chris Kossel fourth. Greg Kelly fifth. Kostelnik is sixth. And it's Stewart, Young, Brunel, Wintruba, Mans, and Milowicki. Jr., the defending track champion, he won opening day and has not been back in the winner's circle since after his domination of a year ago. Last year, 13 times the 8 truck was in victory lane. 13 times. Paul Middlewicki, the Hunker Hornet, in the pits. Now they're closing in on Marion Reno Jr. Had some really good races tonight. Reno sounds like the motor baby going a little sour. Doesn't sound like it's hitting on all 8 cylinders. You can see no straightaway speed at all. Dave Barrow is back in front. Marion Reno trying to hold on to second, trying to make that 8 truck as wide as he can. Dustin Blank goes to the outside. Blank to second. Now Greg Kelly tries to pass Reno for third. Slowing down more and more in the 8 truck. Dave Barrow trying to win, or take his 5th checkered flag, but earn his 4th win. Last week's was taken away. Tonight he comes back determined to get back in the winner's circle. Greg Kelly now passing Dustin Blank for second. 6 laps to go. Kelly is second. Blank third. Kossel fourth. Kostelnik is 5th. To go. Dave Barrow out of wall. In the cars by Dave. Stan's Transmissions. Evanuik Racing Engines. Chevy. To go, Dave Barrow. No one's beat him to the checkered flag yet this year. Through 3 and 4 on Budweiser nights. He will bring the 69 to the checkered flag. One more time. Greg Kelly second. Dustin Blank third. Chris Kossel fourth. And Adam Kostelnik 5th. Young, Reno, Brunel, and Stewart are next. And Dave Mann's also on the lead lap in the 51. toes, catching all the brakes. How about a nice hand, folks, for Dave Merrill.
Hey, fans, we're down here with Dave Merrill, and Dave kind of had something to prove tonight, I think.
Yeah, we did have something to prove. They took one away from us last week because we had the wrong wheel on the truck. But the way things work out, we come out and showed them that 1 inch didn't mean nothing.
I don't think mostly it does. And you know, there's a lot of times, you know, people say, oh, they couldn't be that simple. But when you measure them, and as precise as you try to get these things, and I heard that you had bought a new wheel and you guys never measured it up and have ended up getting caught with it. But as you said, an inch isn't going to make a difference.
No, an inch didn't make too much of a difference. Let's go into the sponsors. Last week's over with. This week's a new week. We got Cars by Dave, Vince's Frame Shop, Thunder Alley at New Great Valley Lanes, A Better Choice, Stan's Transmission, Backhoe Construction, Evanuic Racing Engines. Can't do it without him.
You know,
And the crew. You can't do it without the crew. Rick Ruffner, my fiance Christy, my dad. We did this one for him again. Vince, Mike Backlund. You can't say enough for Mike Backlund. He's down the shop at least twice a week, just talking to us, telling us what we need to do, calming me down on the racetrack, and all that.
You know, Dave, one thing your truck seems to do that the other ones don't do, and that is go to the outside.
It works good on the outside. It works good on the inside. Tonight it was a little tight at the beginning of the race, but the track come to us. After the fireworks, we didn't know what to expect with the track tonight. Hey, we'd like to thank the fans for coming out tonight, show their support for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Dave Merrill.
For Bill Henry. Green is out. Keep your eye on that second row. They've been the hot two this year. Frank Turek in the 5 and Todd Knight in the 70. Turek is your leader. Both he and Todd Knight have won twice this year, and Knight follows him into second. The race is on between Fast Frank and Todd. And Rich Nicole in the 34 trying to hold on. He keeps her going. Bill Ashton in the 35 limping around the top side as well. Green is still out. Sean Zeiler has pitted in the 03. That car's never got into high gear tonight. Transmission troubles or clutch troubles of some sort. Ashton takes the 35 car into the pits. Big Robin Rimmel's on the march, the 22. He started back in the field after his win last week. He breaks into the top 5. Robin Rimmel up to 4th. I believe 4 points ahead of Frank Turek at the start of the night. Right now, Turek 1 spot ahead of Knight, first and second. Robin Rimmel is the man on the move. He's up to third. He could be your Valvoline hard charger. Greg Kelly. Eight laps down for Frank Turek. Todd Knight second, Robin Rimmel third, Don Blank Jr. fourth, and Mike Manning fifth. Todd Knight with a 4-point lead on Turek. If they were to stay this way, it would be Knight ahead by 2 points going into next week. Laps to go. With 6 laps to go. Trying to go wire to wire here for his 3rd win of the season. The West Side Lube and Tire, Turek's Plumbing and Heating. I've been corrected. Frank took the lead on lap 2 tonight. To go, 2 to go. Turek rolling through 3 and 4 one more time for his 3rd win of the season on Budweiser night. Todd Knight second. Robin Rimmel from 12th to 3rd. Don Blank Jr., who led lap 1, finishes 4th, and Mike Manning in the 10 rounds out your top 5. It's his 14th career street stock win. How about a nice hand for Frank Turek?
Okay, fans, we're down here at Frank Turek. Frank, usually when you win, everybody gets a hoagie. It didn't happen tonight.
Didn't happen? Sorry, folks.
That's why they're all leaving.
They're all leaving because they didn't get a hoagie tonight.
Let's say, if you don't get out of the car soon, it doesn't matter what we talk about. It's not going to be left here.
That's it. Everybody's going to go.
But you knew, I saw you starting on the second row with Todd Knight, and I told John up on the tire, I said, well, this should be interesting, but seems like Todd's maybe off a little bit. It's 2 weeks in a row where I thought maybe he'd do a little bit stronger than he was, and you were able to kind of pull everybody and then just ride away.
Well, the track changed different between last week and this week. It was a completely different track, in my opinion.
Well, obviously you liked it better this week.
Oh, yeah, just had to make a couple changes for it.
Let's talk about the sponsors and the guys that help you out.
I'd like to thank MOTORDROME Speedway, Seacrest, and Westside Lube and Tire. He's standing right there, and I almost forgot about him.
I'm gonna have to nail your feet down so you don't make me spin around here at this microphone. Thank you, fans.
I'd like to thank all the fans and the people with Motordrome here and everything else.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner tonight, Frank Turek.
Folks, again, we thank